Sandown. Eerily different and a little too quiet. No sounds of chasing and pacing. No cheering or celebrating. No human or its beloved greyhound inside. It's been far too long since we've been able to watch the sport we love right here in person, which of course makes tonight all the more special. Tonight, the silence will be no longer. The buzzing of the lure, the panting of the dogs. Tonight, Sandown Park will be alive once again, where champions will cement their place in greyhound racing's rich history and lives will be changed forever, where greyhound lovers will come together to celebrate the world's greatest greyhound race. It's time to welcome you all back here to Sandown Park for the 66th edition of the TAB Melbourne Cup. And what a night it is here at Sandown. Look at that for a shot. Beautiful conditions here at Sandown Park for the running of the TAB Melbourne Cup. It is the sport's holy grail. Hello, I'm Gareth Hall and welcome to a very special thrill of the chase as we look forward to the 66th edition of the TAB Melbourne Cup. It is the sport's greatest race. Let's welcome in the team. Hello to you, Molly Haynes.
Hello, Gareth. First of all, how about that opener? If that doesn't get you excited about the TAB Melbourne Cup, I truly don't know what will.
Georgie, I can't wait for tonight's race. It's great to have a crowd back, but the field is a beauty, and especially this favourite, Ashton Rupee. He knows how to run fast. He's a track record holder, and if he wins tonight, I think he goes into the champion category.
Yeah, probably. And good evening to you both. I think connections of connections of the Melbourne Cup are the envy of the whole greyhound public. One thing we're not envious about is the nerves, which I'm telling you, which would we start to be kicking in right now for owners and trainers for sure.
What about previous winners? It's been the sport's greatest race for a long time now, and there's been so many great winners of previous years. What would be your favourite?
Probably Canton Bale for me off box 8. He was a young greyhound. They didn't think he was a chance to win it, and he just came out and blew them away. Of course, for the Wheeler family, Paul Wheeler unfortunately no longer with us, but he's got 2 finalists tonight, so it'll be an unbelievable story if he was able to win another cup.
Yeah, what about you, Molly? Do you have a favourite Melbourne Cup moment?
I think Whiskey Riot, without a doubt for me, he encapsulated the family affair that is greyhound racing with the vision of Anthony and Kayla embracing father and son. It's what greyhound racing's all about.
I've got a lot of mates these days asking me, Gareth, how do I get into a greyhound? Punters clubs, sporting clubs, and do you know why they want to get in? Because tonight's TAB Melbourne Cup, would you believe, is worth $500,000 to the winner. It's life-changing, Georgie. The prize money in greyhound racing is extraordinary these days.
Yeah, look, only a few years ago we didn't have $1 million winner in greyhound racing. Now I think we've got 7 or 8. There's a race next month worth $750,000 to the winner, and next year there's 2 races worth $1 million to the winner. So, yeah, it's no wonder your mates want to get involved.
Yeah, and prize money is increasing because the popularity of the sport's never been bigger, Molly. Everybody wants to punt on the sport of greyhound racing now.
They sure do, and I think they're also wanting to adopt our greyhounds as well. I don't know about you, but wherever I look, I see an adopted greyhound, and it's fantastic to see.
Nicholas Quinn from the TAB. Hello to you, Quinny. Welcome to our coverage.
Thank you very much, Gareth, and what a mouth-watering final we've got, and as you would expect, a very spirited betting event. The favourite, Ashton Rupee, has been popular for months. Was a $5 favourite initially and was still $5 a fortnight ago. Backed into $4 heading into the heats and now a $2.40 market leader from box number 4. But there's been a market mover throughout the course of the day. Aussie Secret, $8.50 into $6.50, the clear market mover today and the second best backed runner overall. So much intrigue about this runner. Punters always remember to gamble responsibly, but there's been a move for the red rug, George, and many aspects of the race do depend on how Aussie Secret jumps. Walk us through why the start is so important.
Well, Nick, it's just his racing pattern. He's a greyhound that likes to use a little bit of the track, so he's going to get off a little bit, and everyone is sort of predicting some carnage on that first corner, or at least before it, where he's going to collide with a few greyhounds. But his record off box 1 is very, very good, and I can understand why he's been backed.
It's going to be a fascinating start because of Aussie Secret, but let's start the agenda here on the thrill of the chase. And let's have a look at last Friday night's first heat of the Melbourne Cup. And for the first ever time, would you believe, there was a dead heat between Koblenz and Japara. No one knew what to do after this race was finished. And when Dan Hibbert announced it, there was a dead heat because no one knew the rules, George.
No, they didn't because they changed state by state. But I was with Dan. He called Koblenz winning by a pimple, I believe, and I thought he had done enough to get up. But as it turned out, both of them are in the Melbourne Cup final.
So what happened, Molly, is that there's 8 heats of the TAB Melbourne Cup. If you win your heat, you're in to the TAB Melbourne Cup. But last Friday night there was a dead heat, so we worked out eventually that it was the slowest heat winner that would be missing out, and unfortunately there for Typhoon Semi, he doesn't take his place tonight.
Absolutely. Imagine winning a TAB Melbourne Cup heat and then missing out on a start in the final. But it's just fantastic that David and Angela can share that TAB Melbourne Cup together. They're the best of friends, and they both bred these greyhounds. So it's a wonderful little connection, and we hope they both do really well.
Yeah, it's a great story between Angela and David Gill, and let's relive that moment, the dead heat, the first ever dead heat in the Melbourne Cup with Angela Langton and also David Gill.
Koblenz from Japara on the outside. Koblenz and Japara. Japara, Koblenz. Oh, Koblenz. I think he's fallen in by a pimple.
Dead heat.
Dead heat.
Dead
No
heat.
way.
Unbelievable. The drama. You can't script this. You cannot script this. It's a dead heat.
It probably worked out good in the end once we knew the result, what was going to happen. There was no ballot. That was the last thing we wanted, the flip of the coin,
The
wasn't
flip
it?
of the coin would have been pretty disappointing.
Oh,
Even if
yeah.
you'd won it, you would have been really disappointed for the other person. So it was really good that they went quick enough time to both get through. It was very exciting, especially for the two of us to share the going across the line first thing, as we're both such good friends. So it was a bit of a buzz at the end of the day. We can sort of smile about it now, even though at the time it was a little bit of a shock.
Yeah. Oh, certainly. If you're going to dead heat in a Melbourne Cup heat, you better do it with a friend than a rival.
You know, it's a great thrill just to make a cup, let alone to make one, I guess, with your own dog that you've bred yourself and you've watched that little pup grow up into a race dog. And then they make, you know, the ultimate race that everyone strives to make, a heat of the Melbourne Cup, and they get through to a final. You know, it's a great feeling. That's why we do it. That's why we breed our pups and give them everything we can give them. And I guess that's what we aspire to every time we breed a litter. We hope that it'll make one of those group races, especially a Melbourne Cup.
Two great trainers there sharing a very special moment last week. Time for our first break. On the other side of it, we'll hear from Jason Thompson, who of course is looking for his 4th TAB Melbourne Cup with Aussie Secret, and we'll also catch up with Corey Grenfell here on TAB Melbourne Cup night. You're with Gareth Hall, Molly Haynes and Georgie Ferrugia. This is Thrill of the Chase, live at Sandown Park for the sport's greatest race.
Welcome to another segment of For the Love of the Dog. I'm here with Jason Thompson. Jason, welcome.
Thanks, Molly.
Now, Jason's got Aussie Secret, who's contending the Melbourne Cup. He's got a very recognisable tail. Does he have a personality to match at home?
Oh, look, I mean, he doesn't really. He's just pretty much a stock standard dog, but as you say, he's got a tail on him that's got a real hook to it. You'd almost think the way he races, he sort of uses the tail to spring off every stride he takes, because as he stretches out, you can just see that tail extend and you can't miss him.
Now, there are a lot of people concerned pre-box draw about where Aussie Secret was going to draw, and you're pretty stoked with box 1.
Naturally, we wanted to draw middle to wide because that's sort of the line he takes, and I was really actually, if I had a perfect draw, it probably would have been box 5, but in saying that, probably just on the eve of when they started the box draw and we were watching it, I did turn to Shona and say, I just got a feeling he might get box 1. I can sort of understand everybody's worry with him, particularly when he does come out the boxes, he is going to want to move right. I think with a couple of inside draws, now he's easing his way to the outside, rather than previously he used to just come out and want to get straight as wide as he could, straight out of the boxes. So hopefully he doesn't cause too much trouble with what he's going to do out of the boxes. But look, that's the way the dog is. We can't change him, and he has got a pretty good record out of box 1. I think he's won 6 races, so hopefully it's a nice clean race, and I think well, we're just hoping he uses box 1 now.
Jason, how important is a handler for any race, but also a Group 1 like the Melbourne Cup? Does Team Thompson sit around the table and bargain for who gets to handle this one?
Oh, look, with Aussie Secret, look, Luke's going to handle him in the final. He's handled him for most of his wins. I mean, probably of his 31 wins, I reckon Luke's probably handled him 25 times. Yeah, look, we'll put the pressure on Luke. Got box 1 and we've just told him make sure he jumps to the front and see what happens after that. But he's a no-fuss dog, so I don't think it'll matter who handles him.
Now this year you're going down in the history books as being the only trainer to have won a Melbourne Cup heat, but your greyhound not make it through to the final in Typhoon Sammy. Talk me through what that experience was like.
Very different. You know, any heat you're in, whether it's a Melbourne Cup or just a 5th grade heat, and if there's 8 heats, naturally everybody expects just the winners to go through. I think somebody said it's the first dead heat there's ever been in a heat of the Melbourne Cup, so for us and the owner John Dart, it's very disappointing that you win a heat and you're not there in the final. I think the rule that they've got, only in my opinion, it's a pretty fair rule. If I dead heated and ran the time that those other 2 dogs ran, I think it'd be hard to, I think there might have been 3 or 4 heats that ran slower than what they did to justify one of those other dogs going through. So personally, I can cop it. Unfortunately, I think others might see it a bit differently, and particularly if you're the owner of that dog, and it can be a life dream just to get a dog in a final of a Melbourne Cup. So to miss out after winning a heat, it's disappointing, but I think somebody was going to be disappointed. Whatever the rule was, whether it was a ballot or on this occasion it was times, there was always going to be somebody that was disappointed. Unfortunately, it's us, but look, we'll cop it and move on.
Exactly. Now you and Shona have had a great history with the Melbourne Cup. What makes it so special to you and your family?
Ever since I started training dogs at a very young age, the Melbourne Cup was the race that I always wanted to win, and I think it's probably the race that every trainer wants to win, regardless whether you're from Victoria or interstate. It's the tradition with the race, the prestige. Whilst it's not the highest prize money race, I think it's just that tradition, and it's a special race. It's been, as I said, it's been going for such a long time. Just to be part of it, it's special. But if you're lucky enough to win it, I think any trainer that's been lucky enough to win a Melbourne Cup will tell you how special it is. And as long as we've got dogs, we'll always be trying to get in the Melbourne Cup.
Jason, thank you so much for your time, and good luck with Aussie Secret in the Melbourne Cup.
Thanks, Molly.
Great interview, Molly. Love hearing from Jason Thompson. The Thompson family are a wonderful greyhound family because they are superb trainers, and when Jason Thompson prepares a greyhound for a big race, he rarely misses.
Oh, without a doubt. And like we saw in the vision in that little story, just the gloss on Aussie Secret, it was just, and Typhoon Sammy as well, it was just great to see.
I loved hearing from Jason when he was explaining about the Typhoon Sammy situation. He's taken it really well.
Yeah, he has. I mean, it's really disappointing for the owners, as he said, but hopefully we get to see Typhoon Sammy in the not-too-distant future, Gareth.
All right, then. Now, our next guest, well, Sam and Corey Grenfell are in their late 20s, and they've won 5 Group 1s already, and Kinson Bale will be representing the Grenfells tonight. Corey joins us on the set. Hello to you, Corey. Welcome to the thrill of the chase.
Good afternoon, all. What a night to be involved.
Yeah, it's a great night, mate. $500,000 to the winner. Do you think about that much?
Oh, it's always in the back of your mind, but the greatness of this race is what gets us up and gets us out of bed every morning. So it's exciting to be involved.
Corey, congratulations for having back-to-back Melbourne Cup finalists. Of course, you had Tiggerlong Tonk last year. Tell us the importance for a young trainer. It's sometimes hard to get a foothold in the game. How much of a peace of mind was it to have someone like Paul Wheeler supporting you as a trainer?
Oh, look, definitely. It's when you're young and you want to win big at the start, and patience is a big thing in this game, and to have someone like Wheeler behind us, and we couldn't have done it without him, and also Michael and Helen Finn, they've been a massive part in our training career so far, and we've got their complete backing, and while we've got that, we'll succeed.
Now, Corey, you've also got a young family behind you. Of course, your wife Sam, but 4 beautiful young children as well. How are you balancing all your dogs, as well as a a large kennel of greyhounds?
Oh, look, every day is a different struggle, but no, look, we wouldn't change for the world. With Samantha, my wife, you know, without her, there's no operation. So, you know, credit goes to her majority, and I'll take the fame on track. But no, look, it's a hard gig, but you know, we wouldn't change it. We enjoy it. We love it. We live for it.
Now, you don't just have a Tab Melbourne Cup contender, you've also got a Bold Trees finalist in Nick's Bale, probably one of the most improved greyhounds going around, from a tier 3 to our lesser known dogs to the biggest stage in greyhound racing. What are your chances for a double tonight?
Oh, look, she's a wonderful bitch, and she excites us. Yeah, at stages in the races with her, you think she's gone, and all of a sudden she's up near the lead, and her will to win as well. It's amazing, and to think, you know, 3 months ago she was just an ordinary bitch. But, you know, patience with us and her got us to where she is now, so it's exciting.
Could be a big night for the kennel, mate. How is Tiggerlong Tonk? He's my favourite. The sport needs heroes, and Tiggerlong Tonk was my hero, and I'm missing him already, mate. He was recently retired, but is he enjoying his new life now?
Oh, he's missing racing, to be honest, and you know, it'll take him a little wind-down period to learn that he's not coming back to the track again, but you know, it still stands to this day that we can't bring him to the track, and you know, he gave us what he did for a couple of years, and you know, all of a sudden that's gone. It's hard to, you know, to deal with each day. So no, look, he deserves his retirement now, so good on him.
It's been a pretty handy career to date, and you're only 27, mate. Good luck tonight with the 2 Group 1s.
Thanks, mate.
There's Corey Grenfell there. Now, it's a special night too for sporting clubs, local sporting clubs, because of the community focus with the Sandown Club, and those community clubs get a chance, Molly, to win around $13,000 if their dog wins the Tab Melbourne Cup. Tell us about this initiative.
Absolutely. So the Sandown Club took 64 entrants for community clubs, whether it was a sporting club or just a community club in general. They took part. It was free to join. They took part in the opportunity to win $13,000, like you mentioned. But my favourite out of all these entrances, it wasn't anyone connected to the Melbourne Cup, unfortunately, this year. It was the West Sales Bowls Club. There is a fantastic video when they were cheering on Jack's Bale to victory, which we can see on the screen here. Imagine if this club here managed to draw Aston Rupee. Imagine how they'd be cheering then.
And I think a local bowling club has drawn out Aston Rupee, and I saw a little bit of some coverage there on the social media platforms at Sandown. So there we go. Who's got Aston Rupee? The Burton Park Bowling Club. They say if they win the money tonight, they'll buy some new furniture, Georgie.
Yeah, it'll be some nice furnishings going through. Look, it's a great initiative. We see it with the Great Chase too in a different sort of way, don't we? So it's great that greyhounds are able to provide for the community.
Now, Nicholas Quinn, I'm on Kinson Bale from box number 8. Corey's confident. What price is he now?
Well, if you're on, that explains the course of the week, because you do like to tell us your betting telephone numbers, and Kinson Bale has been $15 into 12 since the box draw was conducted last Sunday. It's all about the favourite though. Aston Rupee, a $2.40 favourite. 65% of the money today has been on the market leader. And the move at longer odds for Aussie Secret, $10 into $8.50 following the box draw, was rock solid at $8.50 throughout the course of the week. But on race day, $8.50 into $6.50. The runner that's gone the other way, Koblenz, was as short as $3, now out to $4.20. Always remember to gamble responsibly. But George Ferrugia, why the drift on the second elect?
Probably about what we discussed with Aussie Secret shifting off the track, and whether Koblenz is going to show enough to be able to cross him. And Koblenz is a greyhound that needs to lead, Nick, so if he doesn't, he's going to be in a bit of strife. So that might explain the drift.
Well, Lakeview Walters trained by the Whelan family, and I tell you what, the Meetung pub, where they're from, will be going off tonight. Straight after the break, we'll take a close look at Lakeview Walter for this year's Tab Melbourne Cup. Welcome back to Thrill of the Chase. We are live from Sandown Park here for the Tab Melbourne Cup, and look at that, there's plenty on offer for everybody here, especially there's so many food options, Molly, so you definitely won't be going hungry tonight here at Sandown Park. One of the major players is Lakeview Walter. He's a greyhound trained by the Whelan family out there in Gippsland at Meetung, and he's a talented dog, Georgie. He proved that in his heat there last week when he jumped from box number 1, and I thought he was superb, and he's a big chance there tonight.
It's a beautiful part of the world, Meetung, and yeah, look, his run last week was very, very good. He's just drawn a little bit awkwardly here tonight, Gareth, but if he was to win, they'll rip that pub's roof off.
And tell us a little bit about the Whelan family.
They're a young family who actually are relatively new to greyhound racing. We had the opportunity last year to go out to their beautiful property. We shot a fantastic feature story, and their property is elite. They're more than willing to ask a hand of anyone who they need, and their dogs are just in great nick. But I think my favourite story to come out of their family is Monique was telling me that one day they were walking past Walter's kennel and said, "Come on, you duffer, what are you ever going to do?" And all of a sudden he comes out and wins a Group 1. Now he finds himself in a Tab Melbourne Cup.
No, it will be a terrific story. And the young boys there from the Whelan family, they were telling me that they told all of their mates before he competed in his first Group 1, I think it was the Australian Cup, and they all backed him off the map and they were celebrating at the Meetung pub. So I've got no doubt they will be doing it the same tonight. Georgie Farouk, you're one of the most fascinating greyhounds in tonight's race, and he's nearly the most important dog in a way outside of Aussie's Secret for this year's Tab Melbourne Cup. It's Koblenz, because he's a fast beginner consistently. They tell me, and a few of the experts have told me, they don't think they've seen a more consistent greyhound from the boxes at the start.
Yeah, look, he's an absolute star, and we're going to see some replays of Koblenz to highlight his professionalism here off box 2. He just steps really cleanly, anticipates the start very well. Again here, reminiscent of his dad, Fernando Bale. They're very, very similar in the way they go about it, and then just extreme speed to the first corner. 1 turn, 2 turns, doesn't matter with Koblenz. He's here, I think, breaking the record at Shepparton, just extreme speed. Here, interesting, didn't begin as well, but look at that acceleration, just takes off. He's just a superstar greyhound. He's going to need to be at his absolute best on that first corner, Gareth, because of what we think Aussie Secret will do in that first 50 metres.
He definitely hasn't got the biggest motor, Georgie, but as you just pointed out, you win Melbourne Cups if you jump to the front. If you jump to the front here and go into the first bend with a lead, you're always hard to catch.
Yeah, look, he probably doesn't want a few greyhounds sitting on his hammer turning for home, especially if this wind continues with a headwind. It might be tough for him, but if he's 4 or 5 in front, I don't think they can catch him.
After the break, we're going to play a package involving David and Rose Gill, but just quickly, Molly, what a family they are, the Gills.
They sure are. They're a lovely couple, and we get to hear all about how they met and what it took to get to a Melbourne Cup.
They're looking for their second Tab Melbourne Cup, the Gill family. Straight after the break, we'll hear from David and Rose Gill.
I actually met Rose at the greyhound track when I was a starter. Rose was, to me, she was very glamorous looking at a young age, and I thought I was batting her above my weight, so I didn't think I'd be able to catch her. What won her over in the end was maybe being a shy, reserved sort of guy, suited Rose. Won our first Melbourne Cup, hopefully it's not going to be our last, but in 2018, my Redeemer, we were fortunate that we'd picked out box 1 for him.
Racing. Winning the start west on Augie. Beginning quickly was Dinah Harper. Black Opium drives with My Redeemer.
So we thought we were in with a big chance, and subsequently he won it. That's how we really got our greatest thrill in greyhound racing.
3 clear of Black Opium, and My Redeemer won the cup.
The feeling I got was very surreal after the race. I realised what he had achieved, what we had achieved, Rose and myself, with the help of staff.
You know, to win the biggest race in the world, I'll tell you what, this is sensational.
Number 42.
It was a life changer, there's no doubt. It does raise your profile, trainers and owners of Melbourne Cups. My Redeemer is related to Uphill Jill. Uphill Jill came out of a Premier Fantasy litter, Where's the Monica, whereas My Redeemer was Fernando Bale, Where's the Monica. So they're half brother and sister.
Uphill Jill well clear, 4 or 5 lengths clear. Aston DB running a great second, followed by Ando's back. But it's Uphill Jill, a great winner of the Top Gun.
Uphill Jill made a Melbourne Cup. She ran unplaced. We decided early on, because of her pace, We wanted to keep it and not go for strength, so we went for Fernando Bale, who in my opinion is the greatest greyhound of all time. We just thought it was a match made in heaven, and we're so fortunate what's happened to have a dog like Koblenz, who's turned out probably nearly a little bit quicker than Uphill Jill. It can be a struggle, and we've been there, and one day we might be there again. I don't know. I can't sort of forecast that. I hope not. The majority of trainers, they just love their greyhounds so much that money becomes a little bit immaterial. So they'll be prepared to battle and struggle and go through the hard times, because racing's it's a tough industry, but we do it because we love it. Most of the trainers, they still dream about winning a Melbourne Cup. And I just say to them, it could be 1 year or 1 litter around the corner, because you don't know. You really don't know.
It was great to catch up there with David and Rose, and it's a great story, the Koblenz story here, Georgie, because as David pointed out, Uphill Jill was a superstar greyhound, and she produced 10 in a litter, and 9 of them have won. And David's brother Jeff had a chance to pick one of those dogs, and David thought, oh, he might pick maybe the 3rd or the 4th worst greyhound, and they're all pretty good, mind you, and he picked out Koblenz. So he owns 50% of Koblenz, so he's got a good eye, Jeff.
He does. And look, they've had success with this dam line for a little while now, and I have to say, I love Dave Gill rocking that moustache back in the day. That was fantastic.
And I love the story too of resilience. They've never given up. They love the sport. They love the dog, and they've had some tough times, but they've fought through some of those tough times, and now they've won a Melbourne Cup, and by the end of tonight they could have 2 Melbourne Cups, the Gill family there, Molly.
Absolutely. I think it gives hope to anyone who could potentially be struggling out there. Greyhound racing can be a really tough game. There's a lot of money that's poured into your dog. Sometimes it's a week-to-week prospect, but to think that a Melbourne Cup is somewhere inside is just so exciting.
Well, the Daly family know how to win a TAB Melbourne Cup. They're looking for their 3rd Cup tonight. They've got a couple of runners, Georgie, and 2 big chances. Lala Kiwi, as Nick Quinn has pointed out throughout the night, has been well supported since the draw happened there last Sunday. Can she win after qualifying at the fastest there last week?
She can, because she always gives 110%. That's the mantra for Lala Kiwi. Yes, she's drawn in the middle. She's the only female in the race, and the last female to win was 9 years ago. Got a moment for Jason Thompson. So it's a tough ask, but look, as I said, she'll be trying at her absolute best, Gareth. She can really run fast to the first corner. She has broken 5 seconds at the Meadows.
She needs Aston Rupee probably to get into a little bit of trouble, I would imagine, so she can probably get in front of him.
Yeah, that run to the first corner, I mean, we will know a lot.
The roughie of the field tonight is Tiberia Bale, currently around that $81 quote. He was a surprise winner here last Friday night, Molly, but he worked hard and he jumped as well as he ever has before.
He sure did. We can see him here. He's a gorgeous fawn greyhound from box number 2. Look, like you said, it is going to be tough for him, but if anything, we'll have the late Paul Wheeler cheering him on, because there's no doubt the 2 Bale dogs in this race will have a special meaning.
He's drawn box 7. He probably needed an inside draw, Georgie.
Yeah, it's tough. If he wins, it'll be a massive surprise, probably one of the biggest in the race's history.
What price can we get for Tiberia Pale, Quinny?
Well, has touched $101 on a couple of occasions, just trimming in ever so slightly back to that $81 quote, but clearly the outsider in the field, and just as I speak, back out to 100 to 1. But it's a fascinating betting scenario. Aston Rupee at $2.40. Now, a few experts said if this runner came up with the prize box 1, would be an even money chance in tonight's final. From box 4 at $2.40, has been the best backed runner. Koblenz at $4.20, the second elect, an Aussie secret, popular throughout the course of the day. Always remember to gamble responsibly, but we're going to play a bit of closest to pin. The price is right. A lot of punters thinking, do we take the $2.40 now, Aston Rupee? Do we wait? What sort of quote do you think the favourite will jump, George?
I think he's pretty steady, but I'll say $2.60.
Molly?
I reckon we'll stay where we are, $2.40 for me.
Gareth?
About $2.50. But that's why Aussie Secret was so important for them, a betting point of view. He drew box number 1 because, say, if Aston Rupee drew inside of him, he probably starts $1.20, $1.30.
Yeah, really short. Yeah.
He's the one to beat, however, Aston Rupee, despite the box draw. He's trained by Glenn Rounds, and this is nearly his biggest night at the office tonight, trying to win his first TAB Melbourne Cup. And Nicholas Quinn will be catching up with Glenn Rounds straight after this. good is this? It's a wonderful scene here at Sandown Park for the running of the Tab Melbourne Cup. You're watching Thrill of the Chase, and the fans are finally rocking up. They get a chance to come and watch the best greyhounds in action. The restrictions, well, there's no restrictions, which is great. So people can come out and enjoy this great race here, Molly.
Absolutely, and enjoy the grass. As a newbie to the lawn mowing ranks, that grass is looking fabulous.
And it's important too, George, not only for the racing fans to come out here and enjoy watching the best dogs in action, but it's great for the owners as well. They've been watching on Sky Racing, cheering home their greyhounds. But I think the best part of owning a dog, especially if you're in a syndicate, is that after the race you get to go and see your dog, give them a pat, he or her, and I think that's the best part of owning a dog for mine.
A lot of the syndicate people that I'm involved in, all they want is a photo on their wall or in their office. That's it. And if they can get that, doesn't matter where the greyhounds are racing, they get that big thrill.
And then it's the fight to see who gets to keep the greyhound after the greyhound finishes their career. What about Ray Border? Geez, he's a wonderful owner and he's a terrific breeder as well, and he'll play a major part in all of the feature races coming up, but especially tonight in the Tab Melbourne Cup. He's bred and he owns, of course, Ashton Rupee, but he's got some terrific greyhounds outside of Ashton Rupee as well, including last Monday night where he had a greyhound that just sizzled around the track, and Ashton Flame for Ian Garland, Georgie.
Yeah, this greyhound, obviously, the sister showed some amazing speed. Its first sectional was off the charts, Gareth, and then it just kept powering away to win. Her record is outstanding, and I reckon Ian Garland, the hairdresser from Bendigo, will probably bring her to town soon, but she's got some speed on it.
I think he's a little upset the Ray Border went just a little bit too early by placing Ashton Rupee into the Tab Phoenix for his slot.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. But, look, it's a great litter. It's won a lot of money, which we'll discuss soon, but she's one of the stars in it.
I look forward to this segment each and every show here on Thrill of the Chase. Your greyhound to watch now, Georgie.
We're doing something a little bit different here, guys. Usually it's a greyhound to watch on the track, but we've got a greyhound that is a breeding female, and that is Aston Miley. Look, she's been an unbelievable producer. We're seeing some photos of her now. Look, she was always destined for greatness, Molly. Her mum, Aston Al, was a two-time Group 1 finalist. Her grandmother, Aston Oriental, was a track record holder and a Group 1 winner. So when she was born, she was always destined for greatness. And we see Eddie Leish out here with her. She ran third in the Geelong Cup. She made the final of the Melbourne Cup, and I think we're going to see some video of her winning a heat of the Melbourne Cup from box 5, Gareth, where she just pinged out and showed some amazing speed. Here she is here, just a terrific turn of foot. And amazingly, her litter, she was part of a litter that nearly won $1 million in prize money, which included Aston DB, who won a Melbourne Cup. Now, the beauty is that just a couple of steps here, Aston Miley is resting in a kennel. She's just about to be mated again to Casey and All to replicate the mating of Aston Rupee. Now, her litter to Casey and All has won $630,000 in prize money, guys. And if Aston Rupee wins, they blow the top off $1 million, and she's in rarefied air.
Now, Ray Border wouldn't sell those greyhounds, but how much could he sell them for?
Oh, they'd be worth upwards of $30,000, no doubt. But you would not get one of those for sure.
And just to the success of Ray Border and what he has done for the industry, Georgie.
What I like about Ray is that he puts his money where his mouth is. He spent a lot of money in this sport, and he needs to win races like this, and he loves his dogs, Ray. I think he tells me all the time that the first hour in his office he's just looking at the greyhounds that he's got racing for the day. So we wish him all the best of luck tonight.
And Glenn Rounds, of course, trains Ashton Rupee for Ray Border, and I wonder how he's feeling now. The trainer of the Melbourne Cup favourite is catching up with Nicholas Quinn.
Yes, Gareth here with Glenn Rounds now, and I tell you what, if Aston Rupee is as relaxed as the trainer, the punters are in good hands, because you look as cool as the other side of the pillow going into tonight's feature.
No, I'm fine at the moment, but give it an hour or two and it starts to wind up.
Now, Aston Rupee shooting for the Triple Crown. You've already got the first two big ones in the bag. Tell us about the heat, because he really had to dig deep.
He was super in the heat. We were stoked with him he was down the back, he was looking for runs and got held up, and to hook 3 wide on the bend and still keep coming was an amazing run.
The fact that it was almost a case of whatever could have gone wrong in the heat did go wrong, and he still found a way to win. Does that give you extra confidence going into tonight?
Yeah, it does. The dog's never beat. He's never beat. So he's always in with a show, and it's never over. He's very, very strong, and he'll keep coming.
Now, box 4 is probably a positive. The one little negative might be Aussie Secret from box number 1. How do you think the race will pan out?
Oh, we don't know the answer to that really, but how we'd like it to pan out would be that we jump to the front. Yeah. But I'm not sure we're capable of. I think the 3 might lead us, and hopefully we can go with the 3 and go and get into the race by the first corner that way.
Now, what have you done with the dog throughout the course of the week? Just try to keep him ticking over going into tonight's final?
Yeah, he pulled up super from last Friday night's race, and free galloped him 3 mornings this week, and he's jumping out of his skin, ready to go. It's all he needed.
Now, if you do win tonight's Tab Melbourne Cup, how will you celebrate?
We've got to go home and do work. The dogs are still waiting at home. No, we'll figure something out. I'm sure, the time goes. By the time the night comes around, I've been in these finals before, and by the time the end of the night, you're exhausted, it's draining, and the nights are pretty tired by the end of them. It takes a lot out of you.
Now, we want to follow Aston Rupee going forward. After tonight's race, what's on the calendar for him?
Well, the Phoenix for Ray Border. Ray's got the slot in the Phoenix for him, so we'll sort of get through tonight first and then look at our attack on that race.
Well, it's been sensational watching Aston Rupee race through the grades. Best of luck in tonight's feature.
Thanks, Nick.
Good on you, Nicholas. He's going to be hard to beat. There's no doubt about that. Aston Rupee in tonight's Tab Melbourne Cup. But the other Group 1 is for the stays. It's the Bold Trees, which is named after one of the greats of the sport. Bold Trees for Norma Calla was a dead set champion. There she is, Georgie. And she was the pride and joy of Warrnambool.
He was, winning 4 Sandown Cups. I mean, it's unprecedented, Gareth. And there is a little bit of a feel in regards to some Warrnambool trainers here.
Without a doubt, in box number 1, Untapped is she's a greyhound who is the mother is bred in Warrnambool by Barry. There's just so many lovely Warrnambool connections. There's also Mapunga Ruby. We know the connection with the Britons and Barry Smith. It's just great to see a town get behind these greyhounds. I know no matter where you're from in Warrnambool, you're going for these connected greyhounds to the town.
And even visiting Warrnambool during their famous May Racing Carnival, everybody knows who Bold Trees was.
Yes, absolutely. Yep. And look, Mapunga Ruby's the favourite, Gareth. Can she get the job done?
I'm with Hank. I think it'd be hard. Kenny, I should say. Kenny the Brute from box number 2 for Calgarino. $6.50, I think. It's not a bad each way price.
Absolutely.
Let's take a quick break, because coming up next, you can probably hear the Lures in action, and the first race isn't far away. Of course, it's the Provincial Plate, and it sees greyhounds from all over country Victoria coming to Sandown Park to try and win a race, of course, on Melbourne Cup night. So the first race coming up next here on Thrill of the Chase. Welcome back to the Thrill of the Chase. It's Melbourne Cup night, and the dogs are in the parade area for the opening race, the Provincial Plate final. Dogs had to qualify, of course, around the state to get into this rich final for these dogs anyway. Worth $25,000 to the winner. Let's have a look at these runners here. Molan, we'll start off with Power of Oscar for the Stephen White camp.
Power of Oscar, he is an absolute legend. He equaled a track record, I should say, very early on in his career, but without a doubt, he loves box 1, won on 4 occasions.
Yeah, we'll go to number 2 now, and Dusty Lynn is a greyhound that won well last start, showed a lot of speed. Gareth went 5.25 to the marker at Geelong, which is pretty good. Defeated a good one in Gypsy Toowoomba. He's going to have to show that speed because there's speed drawn all around her.
Hennessy is trained by my very good friend in Ashley Terry. This is a greyhound who's I believe, jumping favourite to win this race, and I think also absolutely adores an inside draw.
Number 4, Lakeview Max, only had the 6 starts, Molly, for 5 wins. It's had some injury issues with stopper and back muscle injuries, but its run last start at Sale in 29.33. It's got to be in contention here.
And you talk about Ray Border. Aston Sunset in box number 5 is out of Aston DB, a Melbourne Cup winner from a few years ago.
Number 6 is Octavia Bale, another one. Only a young greyhound, had the 6 starts, won 3 of them. Last start at Geelong, winning in 30.04 by Kinloch Bray out of Dinah Willow, who was a group winner herself.
And Enabler. There's another curly tail there, a couple of to get this meeting on the way. This is trained by Robert Bean.
Yeah, a brother to Aussie Secret as well. So could be a big night for connections. And number 8, Gracie Bale, to round off the field. Look, doesn't begin all that cleanly, so she's going to have a tough job crossing from the pink.
Nicholas Quidd is back. Who will start favourite in the first race on Melbourne Cup night here, Quinny?
Hennessy from box number 3 looking to continue this magnificent picket fence has been the late market mover. Got out to $2.40. Punters have snapped that up late in betting. Now into $2.30. Heads the market from Power of Oscar at $2.50 second legged. Just the 3 runners in single figure odds here. Lakeview Max there from box 4, the other one in contention according to punters at $6. But hopefully 1 and 3, 3 and 1 can fight out the opener.
Who are you tipping here, George?
I think Hennessy is racing very, very well at the moment. He's my tip.
All right, Molly.
Hennessy for me as well, unstoppable at the moment.
And what about our caller, Dan Hibbert? Less than a year ago, he hadn't really called a greyhound meeting. He had his big shot basically at Bendigo for Vic Bread Night, and he nailed it. And at 40 years of age, he's continued to try and live his dream, and tonight he gets to live his dream by calling the Tab Melbourne Cup. So we might head upstairs and say a big hello to Dan Hibbert as the dogs are being boxed for the opening race here on Melbourne Cup
trimmed up a
night.
couple of points. It was a good heat winner at Sale in 29 and 33. He's had 6 starts for 5 wins, and they are the 3 key players here for race number 1. Thanks, Mark from Sky One. The runners are about to be locked away for the first. The last of them are in. The green light is on. And we're set for the first on Melbourne Cup night. They're set. Ready. Racing, beginning well, Hennessy straight out to lead early from Lakeview Max. Driving through was Dusty Lynn. Deeper on the track was Enabler. Trying to push through was Power of Oscar, but it's well back in the field from Gracie Bale, and then came Octavia Bale and Aston Sunset last. But Hennessy down the back, 3 lengths in front of Lakeview Max, who's trying hard. Out deeper was Gracie Bale, railing through Power of Oscar. They're clear then of Dusty Lynn, but it's all Hennessy. Hennessy's a mile in front into the straight, 5 clear, and Hennessy wins the first over Lakeview Max and Gracie Bale. 4th in was Power of Oscar, and then further back to Aston Sunset running on, Dusty Lynn, and then Octavia Bale and Enabler, and the time is 29 and 50. Number 3, Hennessy.
Yeah, from George and Molly, and Hennessy makes it 7 wins on the trot, or 6 wins on the trot, and never looked like getting beat, Molly.
Without a doubt, jumps straight to the lead. And look there, he's trained by my very good friends in Ashley Terry and Nathan Rooney, as we can see on the screen. It's just fantastic. They're a young family as well. They've got a 9-month-old daughter in Harper, who's a couple of weeks older than my daughter Harriet. So a Group 3 victory here will be very handy.
What about the time down the back, Gareth? 18.66. That would probably lead the Melbourne Cup. I mean, that's how fast this greyhound's going at the moment. He got a little bit tired late. There is a bit of a headwind, but he did what he needed. $25,000 to the winner.
Could he be a greyhound that could step up and be a contender in some of the big races, say maybe next year at the Meadows in the Australian Cup?
With those habits, absolutely. And those splits, yes.
Yeah. And as you pointed out, Molly, it's a great story of the Terry family, and they're a young family taking a punt, and you need a greyhound like a Hennessy to put you on the map in a way.
Absolutely. Look, Ash and Nathan have had success in their own right, but they've recently teamed up together the last couple of years, and they've moved their establishment from Gippsland down to Lara. So a big move with a young baby, and I think this Group 3 provincial plate will really tip it off for them.
And the prize money's excellent, $25,000 to the winner there, George.
Such a huge night. Well over $1 million in prize money given away today.
It wasn't it great too, as the greyhounds, well, as soon as they started and went past the winning post for the first time, but then when they swung for home, to hear the roar of the crowd, Molly, we have missed that.
I know, even just watching a race live, rather than watching it on the TV, I was able to turn around and have a look for myself. There's nothing like the sound of their paws hitting the sand. I just love it.
And can we not tip another dog for the rest of this series? Because we're 2 from 2, and let's just keep it that way. Yeah.
On fire. You've got to tip the winner of the Tab Melbourne Cup. Let's head back to Nicholas Quinn. That's a great shot there of Hennessy after winning the provincial plate final here tonight. But Quinny, I'm fascinated to hear what the market is doing and what price Aston Rupee is.
Well, Aston Rupee currently a $2.40 market leader, so the same quote that we had Hennessy throughout the course of the day. And I tell you what, if every favourite could win like Hennessy just did, it'd be very stress-free. There'd be no need for you or me to colour our hair, Gareth Hall. But taking a look at the latest Tab Melbourne Cup market, Aston Rupee a $2.40 favourite. Kavlen's got as short as $2.90 last Sunday, now out to $4.20. There's been specking for several runners throughout the course of the week. It's a terrific betting race, and the fact that Aston Rupee's probably drawn box 4 and not box 1 1 has meant you can make a case for and against the favourite. It's going to be an absolute cracker, and as always, remember to gamble responsibly.
Who are you tipping here, Georgie, in the Tab Melbourne Cup? Have you made your mind up yet? You've been changing your mind a little bit throughout the week.
Look, are we allowed to call him a champion? I'm sticking with the champion, Aston Rupert.
He needs to win a Tab Melbourne Cup to be called a champion.
Okay, there you go. I'm with him because I just think he's more than one-dimensional. He's able to get over trouble, and if he's camping behind a couple of these, I still think he's able to run them down.
There's Hennessy getting a well-earned drink. And just
He
before
does.
I get your
I
tip,
think he does do.
Molly, what I love about some of the greyhounds and the stories that I've been told over the years, and you can deny or confirm these rumours, but if they win or if they go to the races, they enjoy heading to McDonald's to have a soft serve.
Without a doubt,
Yeah.
I love nothing more than seeing the videos after. I think Robert Britton's kennel, especially with Peter Riley, he's often putting up on Facebook them having either a hamburger or a soft serve at the end of the night. We might be stopping for a
Who
bit of a
doesn't
Macca's
like
run on the way
Macca's
home.
Yeah, absolutely.
McDonald's should be sponsoring Greyhound Racing Victoria because
Good idea.
McDonald's don't realise how much money the greyhound industry spends at their restaurants because the dogs absolutely love a cheeseburger, a soft serve, even a Big Mac from time to time. Molly, who are you tipping in this year's Tab Melbourne Cup?
Aston Rupert for me. I think we can call him a champion even if he doesn't win a Tab Melbourne Cup.
Yeah,
but
I'm with you.
he is a great dog.
Just quickly, Bold Trees.
Mapunga Ruby. Yep.
Molly?
Oh, Mapunga Ruby. I promise we didn't swap tips on the way up, but Mapunga Ruby as well.
Don't forget, we'll be back here at 8:52, live here at Sandown Park for the running of the world's greatest greyhound race, the Tab Melbourne Cup. And then on Sunday, the Thrill of the Chase is back from 10 a.m, George and Molly. So it's
been fun, mate.
It has been a lot of fun. Can't wait for this year's race. It should be a beauty. And someone's life will be changed tonight, George, if they win the Tab Melbourne Cup.
Yeah, and it's not just the prize money, it's the stories you can tell your kids and your grandkids, and it's that trophy standing right next to you, Gareth.
But it's also this moment here, as we're
Yep.
seeing on the screens. It's Ashley, it's Harper, it's Nathan and their wonderful greyhound Hennessy. This is what greyhound racing's all about. It's family and it's the day-to-day. And I think we get to see the success here, and I think we should be absolutely honoured to share these moments.
And do you know what I love about it as well? These greyhounds have been here, even the Melbourne Cup dogs, they're in the same kennels together, so they'll be looking at each other, wondering who you are. They probably know who they are.
Trying to psych each other out.
Correct,
What
Georgie.
do you think, Aston DB? What do you think Aussie Secret would be saying to the dogs next door? Ready,
watch
set,
out.
watch out.
Yeah, watch
I
out,
think it might be a bit of argy-bargy there in the kennels.
It'd be fascinating to see what he does into the first turn, if he can hold them out, and whether he interferes with any of the runners. And we'll find out a little later on, but it's been some talking point as the build-up to the Melbourne Cup continues on. Thanks for your company here on the Thrill of the Chase. Hopefully you can join us at 8:52 for the running of the world's greatest greyhound race, the Tab Melbourne Cup. Thanks for your company, and we'll see you again soon.